My name is Midge, Rosebrook, and we've been talking here about the early days of snowmobile racing and how Lancaster tied into the whole thing. It was the first town in the United States to receive the Bombardiers due in 1959. And this next gentleman is the first American in the United States to ride one. And there he is, Mr. Paul Crane, my friend.
Yeah, my name is Paul Crane. I have the Crane Snowmobile Museum, and we have the Hall of Fame, Midge and I, together down at my museum. I worked for Timberland Machines back in 1958 as the first employee, and I was selling logging equipment, which were Bombardier stuff, for Bob Bottoms. And all of a sudden, Bob came out one day as the only employee at the time. Came out one day and he says, "We got to go to Valcourt with me. We got to look at something they want us to sell, maybe." So we went up to Valcourt in 1958, and it was in the summer or fall. And Armand Bombardier was standing on one side of me. I was sitting on the sled, and Bob Bottoms, my boss, was there, and had the wooden skis. It was a plywood front end, and it had a high back. And we rode. Of course, everything back then was gravel. Now everything's asphalt. I didn't even recognize the place when I first went back up. But I rode it down to the, I guess it's called the machine shop, which was down by the river. It was all gravel. What they did is we run on the track, but they put a rod through the skis and had two wagon wheels on it, and I drove it down to the shop. And then back in December, somewhere around the 5th or the 6th, we brought in the first serial number, 1960. Serial number 22.
22, yeah.
Yeah, and that was the first one in the United States. And of course, Timberland Machines had places in other spots, especially in Ontario and everything. And they had serial number 17, 16, and 14, I believe, up in Canada,
yeah,
about the same time. And what happened was, all of a sudden, we got it down here, and I had it, which I have pictures of it out east of Lancaster, where I live now, on snow, and that was the first time anybody was riding. And then we rode a pile beside the museum, you might as well say, in the fields,
yeah,
with the wooden skis on it. And it was quite a thing, because people would stop up in front of the Catholic Church and, what the devil's that? These guys out on the thing. So then in the JCs, I was a JC because I was young then, and I believe it was 62. We had one of the first races, which was in 1962, which we were JCs. Bobby Clark was one of the guys with me, and so was Larry Connery, and
Mike